Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest.
We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it?
He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide isn't front on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging the generations remember our story.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Peace and blessings. Glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. We right around the corner from Friday. Sonia Massey has finally gotten the justice that she deserves. Officer has been charged. I think that is cause for some small celebration. I hope all is well with everybody. Appreciate you for hanging out with us this morning. I got Sydney in the building. I will be bringing her up. You see the title attached to the top of the screen. Yeah, we got to talk about it. I got a clip I'm gonna play just to give y'all some more context about why we are here. Sid, what's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hello. How are you?
I am great. I am great. I had a headache yesterday. I slept it off. I'm feeling good now. A lot better than I was yesterday.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Quiet morning. My kids haven't woken up yet. Hopefully I get a little bit more time. They're lovely, lovely kids, but man, are they loud and destructive. As I always joke with our roommate and my husband, like I clean the whole house, and by the end of the day, it looks like I haven't cleaned the whole house in weeks. So it's the thing with raccoons, to be honest. Like they break into the cupboards, they're coming up to you, like scratching at you, trying to get your attention, and pulling boxes out of everywhere, bringing things to me like, is this mine? No, that's not yours. Oh, is it mine? No, it's not. So much as I love children, boy, they are quite a handful.
SM, good morning. Good morning, good morning to you. Hope all is well with you. Let's go ahead and get into it, man, because there's a couple things that I want to address. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the clip up and I'm gonna let it run, and then initial thoughts from there. But We got to stop idolizing and worshiping people, man. That's all I'm gonna say right now, because like this is crazy. Hold on, let me just bring this up here. Y'all already know there's been a whole back exchanges between Offset, Cardi, cheating, infidelity, etc., etc. He's jealous of her. He messed up with her. She moved on. Oh, he's this. Offset is that. Cardi is this. Cardi is that. She's your superhero. She's your queen. She's your idol. She's this. It's all of this is messy, man. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and run the footage, and we'll just go from there. Let me see.
Wait a minute, because Stefon Diggs has been accused of fathering so many kids this past year, we've honestly lost count. At this point, it feels like every month there's a new woman popping up with receipts, belly bumps, or baby showers. And somehow he's the father. But this latest one, it might just be the messiest yet. Because while Cardi B is pregnant by Stefon, another woman has come forward saying she's expecting twins. And get this, it wouldn't be a surprise if they're due around the same time. Blogger Tasha K just dropped a bomb, saying that Stefon's ex, KJ, is pregnant with twins. And according to her sources, this isn't rumor number 1. This is number 4, because apparently there have already been 3 other women who either had his baby or are currently expecting for Stefon. Now say what you want about Tasha K and her history with the truth, but when it comes to the stories she has broke surrounding Stefon Diggs and his baby mothers, she's been mostly right up to this point. Cardi B hasn't responded to this latest speculation surrounding Stefon fathering more children, but a few weeks back she did jokingly say, if the other women are pregnant, they'll just have to figure it out together. Fans, however, are speculating the female rapper may have to pack it up and cut the relationship short if any more women comes forward claiming they're pregnant for her boyfriend. No, wait a minute, because...
All right. There we go. This culture is trash, man. And I'm gonna open up like this. This culture is trash because as long as you have a certain name or a certain title attached to you, it doesn't matter what you promote or advocate for, as long as it's somebody that you like and you admire, you can pretty much say, do whatever you want without any consequences behind it. Like, I get so exhausted by some of the content that gets pushed ahead of others that are talented and gifted. Like, you really have folks out here that can rap, that can sing, that can dance, that can do spoken word. We have women who have PhDs and doctorates in science, and they have actually been responsible for some extremely impressive advancements in society, but they get overlooked and overshadowed for promiscuity, overly sexualizing yourself. The men get put on a pedestal for being able to conquer multiple people at once, being able to have thousands and thousands of partners and children in the process of it, all because you're a rapper or because you have some type of title. It's trifling. It makes me sick, man. And it's like, when you say something against it or you speak negatively about it, folks often have a lot of pushback against it. Like, you are in the wrong for saying, oh no, man, I don't account for this. I don't agree with this. This ain't it. I don't want my kids growing up around this. I don't want this shit on my TV screen. I'm tired of this being consistently promoted as something that's supposed to be celebrated. What are your initial thoughts on any of this in general?
When I initially saw the topic, it was cut off, and so it just said, like, I have my window minimized ish because I have my writing on the other side, and so I just saw Stefon Diggs expecting, and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh wow, Cardi B's having another baby, and so I was kind of thinking it was gonna be like, oh look, it's celebrities having babies, and then I went back and I was like, wait a minute, that's a different name. And when I looked that up, I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with men? Like, my mind immediately went back to the video we did, I think it was last week, about that guy that has 33 babies or however many babies. And it's really, it's sickening to see how specifically rich men take advantage of women as basically just a showing off. Like, they don't even care about the kids themselves. They don't care about fatherhood. They care about using it as kind of a, look at me, I have this many kids, I'm cool, and for free views, because obviously for whatever reason society is obsessed with pregnancies and when people are having babies, but they don't give a flying if after the baby is born. It's kind of the same energy as politicians using fetuses as a talking point, but not caring at all about the kids after they're born. As George Carlin said, they don't care about fetuses, or they care about fetuses, but as soon as they're born, like, I don't think, like, I don't want to fund your health care, your education, you're just a sap on society up until your military age, and then they can make use of you, or a consumer. And it just, like, really bears that energy where women are just seen as a commodity rather than a valuable asset to society. And same with kids. They're just a way to show off that you, I don't even know what it is. Like, it's not even like, oh, look at me, I'm successful because I have these kids, because it's basically just like, I got this girl pregnant. Look at me. I get bitches. And it's just really insulting. Like, I feel exceptionally lucky to have a man that, number one, is extremely monogamous. Like, he's the type that if I cheated on him, he'd be done with women altogether. He'd be like, I'm done. I made my commitment. If that didn't work, then I'm done. And he also simultaneously always wanted to have kids. He always wanted them for the purpose of raising new human beings to become successful human beings. And I think it's disgusting that the common thread in the media and the stuff that that gets the most eyes is not people raising kids to be good people. It's social media influencers and celebrities showing off how many babies they can produce, especially on the men's side. I mean, women do it too. Social media influencer moms are some of the worst in terms of, like, I'm just going to have all these babies just to put it out there because I'll get views, even though I don't care about the kid. I'm just using it to post on Instagram, post on YouTube, post on TikTok. And now we even have teachers doing the same thing with their kids, where they're literally using other parents' children to get views on their social media pages, or drive traffic to their OnlyFans, which is even more disgusting. But it's just this common belief in society that women are worthless unless they're harboring a fetus. And it's really shameful and disgusting. And again, I feel incredibly grateful that I'm part of a family that actually respects me for who I am and respects my children for who they are, and are giving me the autonomy to choose when I want to have children and how many children I want to have without the pressure. Because no matter who you are, whether you're a celebrity or a religious zealot, all of you guys are, all of the women are subjected to this mentality that you're only useful as a mother.
Here, so how can I start this? I don't know where exactly this started, but let's be honest. The second we started turning our engagements into this exchange type of a contractual situation, that's where things got worse, right? So we don't want tradition anymore. Tradition is bad. Tradition is good on the part of the man, but it's bad on the side of the woman, because if you are traditional on the side of the woman, it's slavery. But if you're traditional on the side of the man, it's expected. But you don't get the same level of respect for doing something that is expected, although you're not expected on the other side to do what is expected, which is a crazy oxymoron, if you ask me. I blame the culture. There's specific places in or on this planet where they still live by certain guidelines and principles. They're not modernized, right? They still hold on to how their grandparents and their great grandparents raised them. You can still get beheaded for looking at another person that's not your spouse. Your hands, your feet get chopped off and all type. There are people who still honor the old ways. We don't honor the old ways anymore. What you have now is a bunch of men and women who are saying, well, if you want my body, you're going to have to come with a big enough price tag. If you don't have a specific name behind you, you're not valuable enough for me to give up my morals, my principles, my standards. I'll do this for you, but I won't do this for the 40-hour guy. I'll let you and your homeboys slut me out, but only if you're Chris Brown. If you're James from FedEx, you don't have the same privileges. You're going to have to buy me everything that I ask you for just to get a peck on the cheek. And rappers and singers and, a lot of these people, they promote it in their music and in their content as something that is supposed to be highly achievable, or it's supposed to be some type of prize. Like, oh, you can apply feminism to this majestic speech that I spew out of my mouth that's absolutely garbage. It doesn't really mean nothing. All I'm really trying to do is to get you to overly sexualize yourself by spiritually allowing Satan to come in and to disrupt your body, your mind, and have you all distorted all over the place, ultimately having multiple partners come in and out of your spiritual house, pretty much destroying your future, your walk, your path, anything that you had your eyes and your heart set on from God. You are basically saying, I'm going to listen to this person because they said it's cool to do it. It's okay. You're not going to get judged here for that. It's perfectly fine. So between our culture being absolutely supportive of things that they shouldn't be supportive of, Cardi B has never been an example for women to me. Stefon Diggs is not an example for men. When I look at those two names, I think about this. If you have money, you can do whatever you want. If you have money, people will compromise their entire soul for the right price and for the right name. You will suck up to whoever you need to. You will dismiss everything that your loved ones have ever taught you when you were growing up as a child. If your grandparents told you that you're supposed to respect men and you're supposed to do certain things for men, and or men are supposed to do certain things for women, and men taught you that when you were growing up, and then you come into 2025 and you throw all of that out of the window because somebody like NBA young boy raps about sleeping with multiple people and having multiple children. We just did a show where the dude had 31 kids, or like 31 kids and 3 on the way. And y'all sit up here and act as if that's something to brag about. Yeah, we do have a serious problem. The fact that you actually think people like Cardi B and Stefon Diggs and these folks are absolutely examples of greatness is absolutely disrespectful and atrocious. Extremely. Now, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just giving my personal opinion and my point of view. You telling me, and I'm gonna say this: Offset, he trashed too. To cheat on her and to go through all of that with that woman, to have all them kids with her, and to be doing his thing outside of the marriage and outside of that relationship was trash as hell too. I don't support it at all. If you're not in it for the right reasons, don't get married. I swear, if you don't want to get married, don't get married. If you don't want the commitment, just tell these people what it is. But see, these are your examples. These are the folks that y'all look up to and you spend your hard-earned money on. One woman gave up her entire rent just to go see NBA YoungBoy at a concert. Her whole month's rent for it. I didn't know he walked on water. I didn't know he could heal the sick. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, man. And so it's like, all right, when your children grow up and they listen to her and Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion, and then they start emulating those characteristics and those behaviors, what you gonna say then? How are you gonna feel then when they repeat the same cycle? Because what, she has a exuberant personality, because she makes y'all laugh, because she's entertaining. The ignorance, man. The ignorance is absolutely crazy to me. This woman is like, I don't even know, she's like 5, 6, 7 months pregnant or something like that. She's trying to sell her album and she's on the top of a car twerking out in the public. And you already got kids that are of age as it is now looking at this. I swear, like, a lot of these celebrities with kids, they don't stand a chance at having any type of normal life. Always. Y'all children out here robbing people. Three, by the way, got killed for trying to break into somebody's house. The owner shot and killed 3 teenagers Where did they get their inspiration from? Who raised them to break and enter into other people's properties? Who's the geniuses behind that? I'm a admirer of people with gifts and talents. I'm not a fan. I'm not one of them folks that's about to sit here and call myself a barb. I'm not a barb. I'm not a beehive or whatever the hell you want to label it. I'm not. No, you're a grown man, a grown woman. You sitting up here with nicknames and fan clubs and all types of weirdos. I'm the problem. Y'all out here spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to go see people who don't know you, and their life ain't even together at all. They just got money. This woman has made some of the most horrible decisions I have ever seen in my life. Stefon Diggs ain't no better. Out here spreading it everywhere. No control. His message is, if you got the money, then you can have sex with whoever you want. If you got the notoriety, you can lay down with anybody that you see fit, because that is the world we are in today. This is the country we're in. Women, specific women, not all of them, but specific women, they target people with money. They don't care about love. They don't care about relationships. They don't care about the nuclear home. They don't care about nothing other than their self and monetary gain. And so they are compromised. A bunch of Jezebel spirits roaming the earth. And the men who are practicing and applying hypergamy according to what they are getting from these people, they're the ones that you see consistently in these conversations. I yield the mic.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. I had a oops. That is really loud. Sorry. I've noticed that it has, I don't know, it kind of has links to income, but it almost doesn't. Like, this is something so prevalent in society now that it's almost as if it's kind of expected that you can just jump from person to person on both ends. Like you're saying, these people are making incredibly terrible choices, but it's not isolated to just celebrities. And I think a large part of that is the fact that it's promoted so widely on social media. I think you asked a little bit earlier, like, you don't know when this started. And personally, just from what I've researched and whatnot, I don't think it's the same across the board, because there is that consideration that prior to the 50s or 60s, I believe, women were not able to request divorce except for like extreme circumstances, which was its own way of holding women hostage in situations that were going to deprive them of their freedoms. But I think it really, really picked up in the 80s once not social media in that sense, because obviously we didn't really have that at the time, but like that was the rise of like people were more open to sexuality being promoted. And that's when music videos started to become popular, and essentially promotions of promiscuity. And when, like, towards the 70s, women started to request the ability to express themselves, and it really picked up over the years, as we've seen. And I think now with the extreme exposure and almost inability to avoid it. Like, unless you're literally living in like Alaska and don't have access to the internet, or are in super rural parts of the country and don't have high speed internet, most people have this exposure all the time. Like, if you drive through any city, you're going to see advertisement after advertisement of like, come to our club, come see our women, look it on the billboards. And then even like clothing commercials are like, you're going to see jeans with thongs sticking out or shirts with boobs sticking out. And it's this idea that women are only valuable for the purpose of procreation. I remember in high school, we had to analyze the video "Love the Way You Lie" by Rihanna and Eminem, and we came up on that topic where we were saying, is, does this glorify violence and sexuality? And it, at the time, it wasn't even as bad as it is now. Like, back then you still had to wear clothes in public, but now I've been watching videos about the ridiculous clothing that women wear, and they're literally wearing like bikini shorts in public, or like it's a crop top that literally just looks like a bra or bathing suit top, and like literally all of their skin is showing except for their private parts. And we've gotten to the point where showing your stomach is okay, showing all of your legs is okay, showing everything except the nipples is okay. And I mean, and even women are wearing shirts that, I mean, when I looked up the stuff about Cardi B in one of her music videos, you could literally see them through her shirt. They're poking out and super obvious. Like, that would, 50 years ago, you'd be shunned for dressing like that. You'd be called like all sorts of names for looking like a prostitute or something like that, a lady of the night. And I think it's like a whole combination of factors, and it's really a circle, a vicious cycle, in that the men are requesting this behavior and the women are giving it to them. And so because more women are giving it to them, more men expect that type of behavior in return. And it's like the comparison of like, because your friends are showing more of this, of your body, now you feel like you have to show more of your body because influencers are making more money off their bodies. More women are pushed to make more money off of their bodies, and they see it as a valuable avenue to make money. Like, we have seen OnlyFans absolutely surge over the past, what, it's been around for like 5 years, 7 years, something like that. And for like, I cannot tell you how many times I watch a lot of compilation videos of ridiculous behavior, partially because it helps fuel my poetry and helps me understand the state of the world around us. But there's so many influencers that have their YouTube page, have their TikTok, and have an OnlyFans. Like, it's become such a prevalent facet of women making money that, like, most women don't have one. I mean, most women have one, and women that don't have one are few and far between. And it's become very acceptable to use your body as a method to get any sort of attention you possibly get, even if it's only getting you a couple $100s a month or something. It's becoming a supplemental income in the same way that like DoorDash is a supplemental income. And we've seen a rise in people like, what's her face? I forgot her name, but we've talked about her before. The one that had like 1,000 people in one night or 100 people in one night.
Lily Phillips.
Yeah, and then there was that other lady that was like making
Bonnie.
her to sleep with all the college students and everything. I'm like, what is wrong with people? And we wonder why men are increasingly preying on younger and younger girls, because this type of stuff is being promoted to young kids. I have seen countless videos of mothers using social media to promote their children on like TikTok and Instagram, showing their children in adult type clothing. And they have there was one woman that I watched a video on that was basically her Instagram was dedicated to and YouTube was dedicated to showing off the outfits that she put on her daughter in comparison to the outfits her mother put on the daughter. And the outfits that she put on her daughter, which included short skirts and crop tops, and mind you, she started showing off her daughter like basically as soon as she was born. But by the time she was like 2 or 3, she started dressing her in these progressively promiscuous outfits. And the views of the outfits created by the mother, which made a lot of sense, like a t-shirt and jeans or like normal kid looking outfits, the mother's pictures and videos receive significantly more views and significantly more saves. And the person that was doing this commentary was pointing out the majority of the people watching these videos and saving these videos, roughly 65% of them were men. And men are not saving pictures of children in risque outfits because they're trying to be educational with them. We know why they have those videos. And the fact that we're promoting this type of culture is putting the youngest of kids at risk of being predated by men. Like, and we all know with the internet, if you put it out there, it's going to be out there. Like, no matter if you take your video down, people are saving it and putting it elsewhere. Like, they have done investigations and they have found videos that mothers have put up of their children ended up on deep web style like forums that were dedicated to passing around these types of content as for less innocent means. And there's a whole business around it that people don't even know about and are just kind of thinking, oh, well, it's innocent. Oh, I'm just doing it for the family members and whatnot. And like unless you set your profile to private, the chances of those videos getting out there are incredibly high, not to mention the risk of hackers getting in there anyways and getting hold of those pictures. And having the celebrities, having the highly visible individuals having access to this information and these pictures is not only alarming, but a signifier of the type of civilization we're headed to. I mean, we're already hearing about women or men fighting to lower the age of consent. There's multiple states that want to lower the age. Like, if you're under the age of 18, you're required to get your parents' permission if you want to marry a person. And they're trying to lower that age to 15. Where if you're above the age of 15, you don't need to get your parents' permission to get married. And that is incredibly dangerous because everybody should know that children, I'm going to call them children. Yeah, they're teens, but they are children because their brains are not fully developed yet. They don't have the ability to differentiate between manipulation and just normal everyday kindness. I have experienced that myself. When I was 15 or 16, I had a friend's dad hitting on me, and I sent screenshots of those texts to my friends and other people that I knew asking, is this normal? Like, is this type of behavior, like, is he just being nice to me, or is he doing, like, is this deeper than that? And he was saying things like, oh, your legs are so beautiful, or like, we should go get breakfast sometime, just don't tell your friend. Or like, one time I was at a dance and he was like, oh, you look so good in that dress. And I had his number because originally his she was my girlfriend at the time. She gave me his number to keep in contact with her when she went to a mental institution. And so I would text him to ask how she was doing and if she was okay. And that's where he started trying to groom me. And luckily, it didn't last long because I've always been a very suspicious person. And because of my experience being um, preyed on by other kids, other classmates, I was always wary of men in general. But it still was something that I had to wrangle with for a while where I just could not pick up if he was being just nice and vulnerable or if he was actually like had nefarious purposes under it. I remember another text he sent me in the like I don't know, it was probably around 11 to 12. It was late in the night and he texted me saying, "I wish you were here right now." And like this is the type of stuff that men want to start as early as possible with because young kids are easy to manipulate. They don't have the life experience to understand the damage and the potential consequences of interacting with adults like that. And a lot of kids that age are seeking like guidance and the like they want somebody to look up to, especially because like kids can be awful to each other, and oftentimes kids will seek out adults if they feel insecure with their own communities, with their own classmates and stuff like that. And it makes it very easy to prey on these vulnerable kids. And having a having a society that promotes this type of behavior, and like I have seen 5-year-olds twerking already. I have seen, as we've said, children wearing makeup and promiscuous clothing as early as like 5, 6, 7, um even younger sometimes if the parents are promoting that type of behavior. um it's putting them at risk because then they're going to think their only value is to look good. We wonder why there's a rate an increase in um, self-harming behavior such as anorexia, bulimia, um, even like hurting yourself or like I mean honestly dressing yourself to be promiscuous in public is in my opinion self-harm, because you're harming your image. And also accepting that your only worth is how you look is an additional form of self-harm, again in my opinion. um but it's inescapable at this point because it's in their music, it's in their TV shows, it's in their like I have seen parents themselves promoting this type of behavior, and they do like TikTok challenges with their kid, teachers doing TikTok challenges with their kids, doing like dances and stuff. There was another teacher that got fired. There's been a number of teachers that have gotten fired for doing dances with students in their class as young as like 10, 11, 12. There was one teacher in particular that was um that got in trouble because she filmed herself doing raunchy dances with the boys in her classes during instruction hours. Not that outside of instruction hours would be any better, but they she was promoting this type of behavior to all their students. Thank you. She was promoting that behavior to all her students just for the purpose of her own views. And if you have adults doing that to you, you're going to accept that it's okay because in the future, you're going to have another man um, inviting you to act that way. And you're going to be like, oh, well, my teacher did, so it's probably okay. Well, my mother does, so it's probably okay. Like there is a link between young mothers having young mothers, where if you were a teen mom, you're more likely to have a teen mom child. And again, this is the type of world we're raising our kids to be. And we wonder why we have record numbers of like mental health problems and, as I said, eating disorders and child suicides because they can't meet the expectations that society is placing on them. So this is something that we can't ignore as a society. We have to reverse course and stop promoting all of this disgusting behavior and start recognizing the damage that it's having on all of our kids.
One of the main reasons why I have so much pushback towards influencers and folks who can essentially reach a number of people is because of how easily you can manipulate and control a bunch of people who don't have a mind of their own. If I had over 1 million people following me, guaranteed that out of those million, a solid 100,000 plus would be willing and able to do whatever the hell I wanted. You got people out here right now that crash out over someone who makes music, over someone who acts, who's done a few good movies, TV shows. When you ain't got a mind of your own, guess what? Somebody else has control over it. When you don't have leadership in your life, guess what? They know it and they will supplement for it. And I don't care how anybody feels. There are people right now that have led a lot of us astray. I got folks in my comments right now under Cardi B's post on Instagram. They still arguing. They arguing by themselves. I'm not arguing with you. You are not going to get no type of feedback from me because I already know where you stand. You're one of them people that don't care about right and wrong. They have a certain type of ideology and a certain type of belief system that they follow. And when you live outside of the word of God, and this is just from me, y'all don't have to agree with it, but when you live outside of the word of God, your life is lawless. You move to your own beat. You wake up when you want to. You sleep with who you want to. You're kind to who you want to be. You don't have the same rules that the rest of us have. If you want to be a 304, you can. If a man wants to go out here, rob, kill, and destroy, then he can without consequence. When you live outside of the word, this is what you get. Period. Cardi B has openly admitted that she has robbed and drugged people, yet and still nobody seems to have a problem with that. Everybody empathizes with that. I ain't letting that go. Most of the rappers that y'all listen to, they poison the community. I'm not letting that go. Ain't nothing. There's nothing to accept. And you're the reason why people are strung out. They chose it, but you supplied it. And you're rapping about it. They're making money off of other people's pain and hurt. Stefon Diggs has a reputation for sleeping with a whole bunch of women, yet and still women still decide to sleep with him. Why is that? Future, same principles. NBA YoungBoy, same principles. All these dudes, they got all this bread. They promote unhealthy relationships. They're telling you exactly who they are, yet y'all still deal with them. But you want me to accept them and apply their logic to how I was raised. I think not. I wasn't raised that way. They weren't. And if they were, then that's the problem. Offset is trash for what he did to her. That's not a man to me. When I put it this way, if y'all want to be out here and you want to sleep around, then that's on you. But be open and honest about it. Give people the options to decide if they want to do it. At Cardi, it's pretty much TikTok. This TikTok is Instagram posts. There's multiple videos, there's multiple people having conversations about it. And to be honest with you, and to be fair here, you know how that goes. So this very well could be just clickbait. They could be just saying stuff just to be saying stuff. And it could be false. But then again, let's say, all right, let's say it's not real. Let's say they just made it up just to make it up. What would be the point? Are people that invested to the fact that they don't care whether or not it's true or false? They'll just watch it because it's entertaining. Like, why would you go to the extent of making up false allegations like that? And Cardi, I've heard about that as well. When you are when you are famous or you have some type of notoriety, you gotta accept everything come with it, because you're not going to be squeaky clean. You're never going to be squeaky. People will come after you even if you ain't never did anything wrong. You could have a spotless record, but folks want to be entertained. We want something to laugh at. We want to forget about our miserable life. We want to live vicariously through other people. So whether or not it's real or it isn't, well, guess what? This is 10, 15 minutes of my life that I don't have to worry about my bills. I don't have to worry about my stress and my drama. I can just trauma dump over here. But like, my problem with this being real or not is, even if it's fake, it's still toxic. It's still unhealthy. It like, you're basically saying that the consumer only cares about drama. All we want is mess and gossip. That's the only thing we want to look at. We don't care about health. We don't care about healing. We don't care about mental health. We don't care about spirituality. We don't care about eating healthier. We don't care about growing as a community. All we want to do is troll, gossip, laugh. And I'm kind of just over that. I am. Live your life the way you want to live it. If that man's swinging on both sides of the fence, that's his prerogative. If he's not, then cool. Like, I don't really care about that. My problem here The only reason why we're here is because of the behavior patterns, because of the culture that's celebrating things that shouldn't be celebrated. Whether or not you believe it's real or not, we've had these conversations time and time again for many, many years. Celebrities pregnant, cheating. Pick a side. Who do you side with? This man or this man? This woman or this woman? Who's your favorite artist? Who's this? Who's in the wrong for this? I don't care about none of that. What I care about is the fact that these are people who have control over millions of men and women all across the world, and it is directly and indirectly affecting everyone. I yield the mic.
In my previous comment, I was mostly focused on women, but there's also that additional effect on men where men are going to, I guess I kind of touched on it, but men are going to expect more and more of this. And as women choose to live a life that promotes promiscuity, they're going to, as I said, expect more and more that women should value themselves only for that. And I kind of mentioned it earlier, but we also see this in the political rhetoric. It's not just in the media, where women are only valuable for what they can harbor in their bodies, and they're only valuable when they are producing beings in their bodies. And this is dangerous because, as I don't know if anyone's read Handmaid's Tale, but that describes a world where women are valued only as baby makers. These women are basically slaves to a system that promotes patriarchy. And it's a very, very depressing, scary view of the world. These women are literally only valuable for their bodies. Women that are not valued are basically sent out to the wilderness to live in these camps. And the women that are for certain purposes, they are exalted and given special treatment. But again, it's special treatment that still subjects them to being disparaged and treated poorly. And I think another aspect too that plays into it is, while men are abandoning women with their children, women are still disparaged and treated poorly for seeking out benefits, because as we've seen in this world, no person can support themselves on a single income. There's no way that anyone is going to be able to pay for themselves alone. Like, we're already seeing people struggling with getting by, basically on a single income. And so a lot of people that are relying on that have trouble with getting by are having to rely on getting money from the government. And we all see how women are treated when they are relying only on the government for assistance, even if they're literally forced into those positions. Women are arguably more likely to lose their jobs. I have heard many a story of women that were literally put on maternity leave and fired while on maternity leave without being allowed the benefits of maternity leave. So essentially, we have women with 5-week-old babies being told, oh yeah, we're not going to pay you anymore because you're useless to us now. You're going to have a kid, and that's going to take away from our productivity. So bye, good luck. And we're so ready to villainize these women. It's so common to have the welfare mom thing thrown out, where these ladies that are, more likely to be allowed to have a job. It's easier for them to find work. They tend to be able to hold on to their jobs longer. They're more likely to get promoted. It's setting up women to fail, yet at the same time, we are devaluing them just because they have to rely on the system that men created. I remember this interview. A woman was interviewing a man, or I think it might have even been a man interviewing a man, but they were talking about how, like, he was basically arguing that women shouldn't be able to vote because women are useless and are like, why should we allow women to vote when they're stupid and ineffectual and they don't know anything and they should just stay at home and take care of babies and whatever. And I forgot exactly how they led into it, but she got him with the point of, yeah, well, give me 1 second. My kid gets upset when his crackers are broken in half out of the package. But women are, they basically got him back and stunned him into silence. Well, who created that society? It's men. Men created the society, yet they're so willing to disparage women for not properly taking part in the society and being a scourge on society with how they're acting. And it's incredibly damaging because it makes it so women are basically forced to, you're either going to be a single mother and struggle and be insulted just because you are reliant on other people to give you money, or you're going to have to be reliant on a man who, if you're lucky, will take care of you and be a doting father. But you also could equally be subjected to abuses. And they, like, when you're wholly reliant on somebody, you're unable to get a job, you're unable to support yourself. If you have even a kid, if you're like, some people have like 4, 5, 6 kids or 33 kids. It's, you might stay with somebody who's abusive because you have to. And this is something that women in the 1950s were subjected to, where a lot of women were being secretly abused. There was a secret drug alcoholism epidemic within women because of how they were treated. Even my favorite poet, Sylvia Plath, she took her life partially because of the way she was treated and because of she felt so like she had to take care of 2 kids by herself, and her husband was, if I remember correctly, I think he was cheating. But she couldn't do anything about it because she was in the 1960s, I believe. And at that time, it was very hard for women to secure a divorce unless there was proven, like, he's trying to kill you type of attitude. And we wonder why women are disenfranchising themselves and even not dating at all, because they're like, why would I bother trying to get in a relationship if he's just going to leave me? And like, the billionaires keep commenting on, like, oh, we're having a baby shortage, why aren't people having kids? Maybe if you treated women better, we'd be able to have more kids. Not that we need any more kids, because, you know, the planet's dying right now. We have to use 1.7, we use 1.7 Earth's worth of resources every single year. So we're already stealing from our future just to support the number of people we already have. And again, they wonder why people don't want to have children. And I think a huge component of that is how we treat women. And sadly, we treat women the same way that we treat the planet. We think that they're an endless font of usefulness, that all we have to do is keep taking and taking and taking, and they'll do and support whatever we want.
or whatever they want. Like we will fulfill all of their whims, and all they have to do is luxuriate in the wealth that they're able to accumulate on the backs of us. Like we've already in society, we've already recognized or are starting to recognize the complete disparity between work and effort, where men and women are, or sorry, where women are working all day long. They don't get a break. They sometimes even have to wake up in the middle of the night. They're changing diapers. They're making dinner. They're making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They are washing their husband's clothes. They're trying to manage their own clothes, their kids' toys, managing the whole house, keeping everything clean. Sometimes they have pets, so they have to do all that too. Then the husband works 40 hours a week, if he's lucky. Sometimes they work more. But anyway, they work, and then they get to come home, and then they get to kick back on the couch, watch TV, play video games, go out with the boys, do whatever they want, all while the majority of women are unlucky enough to be with somebody that is going to basically make them their slave. And it's something that's inescapable, as I said, for a lot of women, because there's a stigma with being a single mom. There's a stigma with being on welfare. There's a stigma with being a woman without children. And you can even be penalized for that on your taxes and with your insurance and all these other aspects. And it's a life that a lot of women are no longer wanting to live. And that's why I think it also plays into that epidemic of over-sexuality, because if you don't see value in being a mother, if you don't see value in being a wife, if you don't see your value in the workforce, you're going to seek out value somewhere else. And where is the value of most women? It's their sexuality. It's how they look. We have people relying on makeup to feel good, on clothing to feel good. Like, this rise in consumerism is 1,000% connected to women. Like, there's I don't know if it's a stat per se, but like this idea that women put themselves into debt for thousands of tiny purchases. They're buying makeup, they're buying lotions, they're buying perfumes and clothes and shoes and purses and the boo-boos to make themselves feel good, while men put themselves into debt for boats and cars and airplanes. And so we're killing ourselves funding lives just to make ourselves feel better, because society makes us feel like shit. No matter what area you're in, you're going to be taken advantage of by the system if you're a female. And there's also too a stigma with, like, there's this growth of frankly disgusting ideology in men where, like, I don't know what to call them. I don't want to like insult them, because you never know like why they're the way they are, but like those types of men that are just kind of really gross, and all they care about is women in the loner types, the ones that are like, again, they don't take care of their bodies. They sit around on the computer all day. They're having relationships with AI girlfriends or pillows or whatever, because they deeply crave relationships with women, but they haven't been taught how to have relationships with women. And they can't get a woman because women have also been trained to only want a rich, successful, rich man or a sexy man. And they want that prince to sweep them off their feet. And like, we have all the Disney women that want a prince, and we have all the like Planet Fitness people that want the like macho, muscular, he can do 100 push-ups and run a mile in a 2-minute type people. And I mean, we've already talked about this on the podcast too, about the women that have ick lists that are like 500 things long, where they're like, if they wear these clothes, if they talk this way, if they work this type of job, if they like wear these shoes, if they watch these shows, like they have so many different no-nos for men that it's also increasingly hard for men to find good women, and that just increases that attitude of disgust towards women, to mistreat women. And so they end up just paying for sex and using OnlyFans to get what they want from those women. And again, it's a vicious cycle where the more women objectify themselves, the more women are going to be objectified. And the more women are objectified, the easier it gets for men to objectify them. And we have to return to a society where we, like, granted, we should not be disparaging women for having to fall to those careers, because again, we created the system and it is half our fault for making it that way. But at the same time, we shouldn't promote it as if it's a good thing. We need to bring ourselves back to a time where we should help women, help them rise above it, help them get opportunities beyond that. And I mean, there are granted women out there that brings them joy, or for whatever reason. Oftentimes it's psychological reasons, but if somebody really, really wants to do that, to each their own. But it should not be the only reliable career women are able to get. And again, this is also seeping into the political sphere, where they want women to not have the right to vote. They want women to be out of the military. They want women to be out of the government itself. They don't want to hire women because they see us as meek and useless, which is simply not true. We just have a different way of thinking, and we're not a brute force type people. We're more so, at least most women try to be more equitable and try to find ways to help everyone. I mean, granted, there are men like that, but a large majority of men have this like brute force mentality. I mean, case in point, our own military head of state, or head of the country, literally said the role of the military is to destroy things and kill people. That's the mentality that we're spreading through this country. And if that's our mentality, we are going to destroy ourselves to, quote unquote, achieve that. So that's all to say. This is an attitude. This is not human nature. This is like, I've heard that argument before. Well, like, oh, well, it's such a natural thing. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. But it shouldn't be profited off of. You shouldn't be ashamed to participate in it. But there's an extent to which it becomes a problem. Like, same thing with alcohol. It's natural to want to drink alcohol. It's natural to crave sugars. It's natural to crave buying things. But it becomes a problem if that's the only thing you're good at, if it's the only thing you're engaging in, or if it takes on a more predatory nature. And we need to start reconsidering how we are promoting it in society. We need to reconsider how we're teaching our children, how we treat mothers and women in general, and how we teach men, because it's equally their problem as it is ours. So this is definitely an epidemic, no doubt about it. You can see it with the number of people that promote bubble skirts and skimpy outfits and all that fun stuff. But we need to shift how we view those things. And again, not disparage people for doing it, but to point them in the right direction and allow them to see that their value goes beyond what their body can do.
Cardi B got everything coming to her because she deserved it. I ain't even about to do or address what you said, because I see you went down a completely different rabbit hole. And that could go on a little longer. Cardi B's parents and her upbringing are responsible for her decision making. She got introduced to a lifestyle that probably wasn't something that she wanted, but she ended up involved in it, embraced it, and then as time progressed, those negative behavior patterns, those characteristics that are unsavory, you know, being loud, being abrasive, feeling like she needs to compete and this, that. A lot of that stuff came from the neighborhood that she grew up in, the people that she grew up around, her friends and stuff like that, that said it was cool to be a thief. It was cool to go out here and dress this way and act this way. It's all right to be a tomboy, even though you're a female. It's okay to do this and it's okay to do that. Maybe her parents weren't even the greatest examples. For a woman to have children with a guy, get married to a guy who had already had a history of infidelity. All right, put it this way. You know what type of man and woman you're dealing with when you get into the industry. Everything is out in the open. News, blogs, everybody speaks on it. Everybody pulls receipts. So you're not going to convince me that she didn't know what type of character Offset had. Matter of fact, let's go back even further, because I hate when people don't take accountability for their participation in activities that get them where they are in the first place. Even before she met him, she already had relationships. She wasn't a virgin when she met him, which means that you've already dealt with men like this before. It's impossible. You can't convince me. I've been in this pattern before, and I had to break it, where I dealt with a specific familiar spirit within a woman who had the same traits. It was always a different woman, but she still had the same characteristics, the same attitude, all that. Different woman, same spirit. And until you get to a place with God where you can recognize what is what, you're always going to end up dating the same type of person over and over and over again. She dealt with Offset before. She dealt with Stefon Diggs before. Maybe not in the same physical sense, but that same spirit. She dealt with somebody like that before. But guess what? She didn't learn from her past. She didn't learn from her choices. And whoever was around her, friends, family, they didn't correct her behavior. They didn't correct and say, look, man, you messing up. You keep on choosing the same type of person. Maybe you need to go heal, get some therapy. Maybe you need to go to church. Maybe you need to pray. Maybe you need to be away from men for a while. Because what you're doing right now is only hurting you more. You don't see it, but I see it. See, sometimes when somebody from the outside looking in calls you out on it, it's because they have cleaner and clearer eyes. They're going to be unbiased. They're going to be able to tell you things that they notice that you're not, because you're blinded. There's a veil over your face. The enemy keeps this invisibility cloak right in front of you that suggests that what you're doing and how you're living is super kosher, but in reality, he's leading you to the slaughter. He does it to everybody. She has dealt with this type of man most of her life. She transitioned over into the music industry, got the money, got the fans kissing her ass, sucking up to her. Everybody is worshiping her, praising her, telling her that she can't do no wrong, even though she done admitted that she done did wrong. She should be in jail. People coddling her and protecting her feelings when we all know that chastisement is a form of love. You can love somebody and chastise them, my nigga. She has a horrible taste and choice in men, like a lot of women do. I didn't say all, but a lot of them have a horrible taste in men, in men, going after the same type over and over and over and over again. But you want to point the blame at everybody else. This is not my fault. It's not the 9 to 5 guy's fault. You're attracted to who you're attracted to. Hey, I'm sorry. I wish you were. I wish you were into the guy who worked at Subway. You probably would be happier. You probably wouldn't be in the situation you're in right now. In a perfect world, I wish you were attracted to the short kings, but you're not. Maybe they would have protected you more than you thought you were going to get protected by Stefon Diggs and Offset. I'm sorry you're not attracted to the guy with 2 fingers, 1 arm, but you're not. And that's cool. Men are cool with that. You like what you like. But for you to continuously deal with the same archetype of person, and now we are here 2025, allegedly your guy not only gets you pregnant, but gets somebody else pregnant after you already should know his history. I don't feel sorry for you at all. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. I feel bad for the kids because your attitude and your outlook on life is so toxic that you can't even realize or see that what you're doing is setting them up for failure. See, the media is going to lie to you. They're going to cushion it. Oh, she's just a victim. She's just innocent. She didn't know that he was. Man, if you don't get out of here with that, you knew exactly who he was. Every rapper and majority of that industry, all of them are rotating in the same orbit. All of them sleep around. Name one. Name one of them that don't. And I love these people. I love all of them to death. But first of all, most of them don't care about us. They don't acknowledge us. They're not pouring into us. They're not even doing it in a way where you're absorbing information in a positive way. The stuff and the content that they put out is so just negative. Everybody is rapping. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to be a twerker. Everybody wants to be a dancer. The culture is poisonous. It's absolutely poisonous. And I refuse to accept this. Oh, she didn't know. You're not going to tell me she didn't know. Stefon Diggs knows exactly. He knows that he's a piece of trash. He's just a rich dude with poor morals. Most of them are just rich men with poor morals. They just have. These are just people who got the money to play with whatever toy they want. So I got millions of dollars. I can buy you. I can buy her. I can buy him. I can be garbage. I can have a nasty attitude. I can be dismissive. I can be persuasive. I can be for the streets. I can do all that, and you're going to be okay with it because my tax bracket says that I can. Cardi B don't love herself. It's impossible. You can't convince me that she loves herself. Not when you keep on putting your body and your mind and spirit through the same torment over and over and over and over again. Impossible. You just can't love yourself. You didn't even give yourself a chance to heal from what you went through with Offset. And if we've really gone deep into it, you didn't even heal from the men prior to them. You're not healed. Your circle lying to you. Your social media friends are lying to you. The ones that are arguing on your behalf, they want autographs. They want tickets. They want to be your friend, your fake friend. Most of the people who lie to you and they kiss up to you, they don't really love you for real. In the back of their mind, they know that what you're doing is not representing women. Cardi B does not represent women. She does not, like, I don't know why people think saying something against another person is hate. Is not hate. Wake up. Ma'am. The money didn't bring you no more happiness than it would have somebody who is struggling right now for their food stamps and EBT. You got all this money in the world and you still in love triangles. You got all this money and you still can't get a dude to lock in with you, to take you serious. He's a problem, but you have an issue too that you need to address, and you're not going to get under somebody in order to get over somebody. Period. Just it don't work like that. You're just going to keep on running into the same type of dude. So if you decide to leave him alone, guess what? You're going to end up dealing with another rapper, another NFL player, somebody that is doing the same thing until you stop it, until you figure out that you are a part of the issue. You're going to continue to put yourself in this space. The money is not going to mask that pain that you feel at night when you sleep alone. That money is not going to, and them bags and them dresses and all that expensive stuff is not going to take away the humiliation, knowing that these men have ultimately used you for whatever reason and carried on with their life. And they ain't no better. They're no better. But see, these are the type of folks that y'all look up to. Carry on about, defend them to the very end. They can't do no wrong. They perfect. Right? Yeah. No. She needs help. She needs to leave these dudes alone. She needs to be single for a while. Stefon Diggs needs a vasectomy. A lot of these men out here need a vasectomy. They need counseling. They need fellowship. They ain't no better. And this is exactly what society wanted. This is how this was designed and set up. So y'all look at them and you say, oh, they got the money, so it must be okay to live reckless like that with your body. It's okay to just be reckless with your spiritual walk. It's okay to be irresponsible with your soul. It's okay to sit up here in front of millions of people, go to these concerts, do these music videos, and do all of this promotion and spew out all this rage and all this hate, talking about suck this and suck that and bend over this and bend over that, and then have a million different chicks in the background twerking and this, that. It's okay to do it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Right. But we see how that's panning out for your favorites. Young Jeezy with Jenny Mai, failure. Tyrese, his marriage, failure. Akon, his marriage, failure. Sean Kingston, scammer, failure. 50 Cent, failure. Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon, failure. Future, failure. How many names do I gotta run down? Name me a relationship in Hollywood or in the music industry that was positive, that had a positive outcome based on the content that they promote and push out. Name me
Not to mention all our
social
politicians.
media influencer that has had a successful relationship that didn't end with a happy marriage, or it didn't turn into gossip. We're all on TikTok, Facebook, Rumble, Instagram, scrolling. You see somebody got shot over a rapper, someone got shot over their kids, somebody lied about their kids, somebody is having a kid with somebody that was from the friend group, somebody this. Where is there a role model at in social media spaces? Where are the role models? Where's your queens at? Jay-Z wasn't even faithful to Beyonce. Where's your role models? Where are they? So yeah, like I feel bad for the kids. I hurt because I know that everything that she is doing is coming from a deeper place. I'm not even a psychologist, but I know bad behavior. I know when there's some stuff hurting on the inside, and that woman is hurting on the inside. Nicki Minaj, her and her dude is trying to avoid going to court because her dude put his hands on somebody. Her dude is a pedophile. Nicki Minaj, man, is a pedophile. But you y'all want to tell me that I'm a fanboy or I don't give a F about none of them. All of them are fake false gods and false prophets. They don't do nothing but promote hurt and anger and division, as far as I'm concerned. I don't worship none of these people. I could care less about any of them. Nicki Minaj is dealing with a whole Chester out here, but y'all still rock with her. And Cardi drugged and robbed dudes. You still rock with her. Why would I listen to you? Why would I take advice from people who support that type of garbage? That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts to me. But hey, look, let me say this with all love. I hope and pray, like from the bottom of my heart, I hope and pray that this woman finds some type of healing, some type of help. I hope she bounces back. I hope she recovers from this. Satan is dragging her through all type of hell. Satan is dragging her and a number of us through all types of hell. The alliance is real. Now, the things that you were speaking on, Sid, we could definitely spin the block back on that one at another juncture. I heard you and I was listening and I was taking note. I would love to spin back on that one. I didn't want to do that here because this is about Cardi B and Stefon Diggs situation. Him being such a POS. It's like it needed to be addressed, man. He that's crazy to me, man. That's crazy. I knew when they announced that she was dating him that it was going to go bad. It was going to get ugly because you just got out of a marriage. And on top of that, y'all ain't even considering the fact that she was having sex while she was pregnant with that man's kid. That's nasty. That's nasty as hell. He trifling as hell too. Don't get it twisted. Come on, man. For us to be adults, we act more like children than children act like children in 2025. I yield the mic. If you want to add anything before we get up out of here, man. I know it's been a
I have a poem that I thought I could share. But as you said, we can spin back on it. But I did want to throw into that the same thing is happening with politicians. Like we've all heard about the Epstein files. We all basically know that there's countless famous people in those files. We all know and see every single day politicians, religious leaders, famous people, regardless of who they are, being exposed for what they're doing, cheating on their wives, having mistresses, sleeping with their coworkers. Literally, we just had a woman, a Dahlia, I think, I forgot her full name, but she basically set herself on fire in front of her house because she was having an affair with the senator or congressman that she was working for in Texas. We've also had countless women coming forward with all sorts of different scandals of people that they worked with, people they're taking advantage of, people that were in high powered positions. And not to, like, I just found this one out. Melinda Gates left her husband because she found out that he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. So, like, no matter what position you're in, it doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, if you're an influencer, if you made your money on the back of politics, if you're a professor or a religious leader, all of these people are promoting the same behavior. And it's crazy, honestly. Like, if you ever think that society is normal, just Google, like, caught sleeping with, and you're just going to find endless numbers of people that are cheating and doing all sorts of weird, crazy stuff. And not to mention, as you were saying, like, all of these celebrities, they have relationship after relationship failing. Like, even in the general public, the failure rate of marriages is about 50%. And it's really awful. And it also, I think, contributes to that unwillingness to get in relationships because you're surrounded by divorce. And if you're constantly seeing all these celebrities have one marriage after another, like, why do you think you'd have hope? And it's ridiculous. It's as we've all been saying, it's creating a generation of kids that are going to believe that this is normal and that their only worth is what they can do with their bodies. As we've seen, like, Cardi B was taken advantage of. When you are only valued for your body, as soon as your body isn't good enough, they're just going to move on to the next one. And it's just not good for society. It's going to hurt us and make women think that they don't have any value. And they're also going to make men think that women don't have any value. And again, this is something that we should definitely come back on in terms of, like, other types of famous people, because there's so much more to say, especially because with celebrities, they're promoting this type of behavior for money, for views, for fame. And so there's a different dynamic to that. When you're supporting when you're supporting yourself off of disparaging other people, that's different. There's a different psychology behind that, because it's more of like an ease of access where it's like, that's what everyone's doing, so I might as well do that too. But with people in positions of power, like CEOs and politicians and people who have sway, it goes much deeper than that. It's the whole patriarchal idea, the mentality that you're going to be able to use power over other people, with the mentality that you can use people for your personal benefit, your personal gain. And I think that, again, deserves revisiting, because that's a completely different
psychology behind that, and it's rooted even more in economics and in the secret takeover. I mean, not so secret anymore, but the secret takeover of the entire system by rich people that basically devalue anybody they see as different than themselves. Um, so yeah, I think this is a topic that we could go on and on about, because there's so many different facets to it: psychology and economics, and the whole value-based like systems that are ingrained into our minds. And even like we've already kind of talked about the religious aspect too, where they're using vulnerable people to take advantage of as well. Like homeless individuals are more likely than any other group of people to be ARD or other things. So yeah, this is definitely an important topic to touch on and really explore the different aspects of it, because there's so much behind this. And as you said, it's rampant in society right now. We have celebrity after celebrity breaking up and having 3, 4, 5 marriages falling apart. And not to mention, they don't even get to the marriage part before they're cheated on with 3 or 4 other people. And they're having relationships in like these crazy networks, it seems. So yeah, this is a very intriguing topic from a psychology standpoint, and a societal, and important from a societal aspect. I don't know if I said this already, but I do have a poem that I can read as well on this topic. Doesn't have a name yet. I wrote this before the podcast, so it's not quite refined yet, but I obviously wrote it about what's happening right now. Okay, so pregnancy privilege makes mothers merely incubators for insolence. Bulging black bodies become booty for flagrant fathers fixing to flee, while corpulent Caucasians are forced to foster fathomless fetuses as godly gifts behind gagged gateways. To perpetuate peonage by purist patriarchs, bitches are boasted by boys as exhibits of effete ego, taking tits and taints as trophies for vitrolic views and vainglorious visibility. Femme fatales funneled into fake fitness and homemaking hoosgows, operating only for OnlyFans or offerings, disparaged for depending on doles, taking on taunting and transitional roles, yet concealing capacity, capability, and competency, swaying, assuring success is in seduction on the couch, instead of the immense intellect we could instill. For women are wonderful, wise, and worthy. Women are treasures worth more than your pleasures. Women are more than a usable udder. Time to teach tots that they don't need to be thoughts, that makeup won't make up for a meekness inside, delivering your debt to doorsteps or on the back of divorce, revealing to rakes your raunchy remains will never be worth bartering away your beautiful brain.
Salutes. Exceptional poem as usual. Shout outs. I appreciate you for hanging out with us this morning. We got a lot covered today, and I know we got a lot to cover in the future with this. Cynthia Turner, appreciate you for pulling up. Store Seed, appreciate you for pulling up. Carly, salute. Even the other individual who tapped in, I automatically assume that you're a Cardi B fan. It's cool. Everybody got their opinions, and it's all love over here, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with us this morning. I will be back.
Oh, you want to say hi?
Hi. Hi.
Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you guys later on tonight 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard. Drive safe. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we out.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my